Hello students, in this video we will see how to solve a numerical problem on impulse turbine. For that purpose we have a question. Okay.
So the problem is the velocity of steam leaving the nozzle of the impulse turbine is 900 meter per second and the nozzle angle is 20 degrees centigrade. The blade velocity is 300 meter per second and the blade velocity coefficient is 0.7. Find the mass flow rate of 1 kg per second and the blade are symmetrical. This is the condition given in this problem. Okay, find these values for this problem. Okay. First of all, we have to write the given data. So impulse turbine nozzle steam velocity of the steam turbine from the nozzle is V1. V1 is, this is the absolute velocity of the steam leaving the nozzle is V1 is 900 meter per second. Nozzle angle, that is alpha 1, is equal to 20 degree. The blade velocity with linear blade velocity is 300 meter per second. Next, blade velocity coefficient. Blade velocity coefficient, that is K. K is 0.7. 0.7. This is used because blades having the friction. That means VR2 is equal to K times VR1. Okay. And mass flow rate is 1 kg per second. Okay. So now, first of all, for this given data, we must draw a velocity diagram for impulse turbine. Okay. Now, first of all, we have to write the velocity component from using this velocity triangles. VW1 can be written as, from this velocity triangle, VW1. VW1 is this one. This is VW1. So from this triangle, we can write alpha 1. VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. V1 cos alpha 1. We have V1, we have alpha 1. Put the value in this equation and we will get 845.72 meter per second. This is the whirl component of this absolute velocity at the inlet to the moving blade. Now we can also write VF1 flow component. VF1 is equal to V1 sin alpha 1. Use sin alpha 1. Alpha 1 is here and sin alpha, this bigger triangle at the inlet, sin alpha 1 is equal to VF1 divided by V1. From there we can write VF1 is equal to this one. We know V1, we know alpha 1. Put the value in this equation and we will get VF1 is equal to 307.81 meter per second. Okay. Next, we can also write beta 1 using this small triangle at the inlet. This triangle we can use tan beta 1 is equal to VF1 divided by VW1 minus U. VF1 VW1 minus U. Tan beta 1 VW1 minus U is this one. Okay. So from there we can calculate beta 1 is equal to tan inverse of this. We don't have VF1. VF1 we have calculated, VW1 we have calculated, U is given. Okay, put the value and you get the beta 1 is equal to 29.42 degree. Okay, this is your first answer. Blade inlet angle at the inlet, blade angle, that is beta 1. Okay, now we can use another velocity triangle beta 1 and we can write VR1 from this beta 1 triangle we can write VF1 divided by sine of beta 1. we know VF1, we know beta1 now, and put the value, we will get VR1 is equal to 626.56 meter per second. Okay, now we know that VR2 is equal to K times VR1. Now VR2 is equal to K is 0.7 and VR1 is 626.56 is equal to 438.59 meter per second. This is VR2, relative velocity at the exit. Okay, now we can calculate VW2. VW2 can be written as VR2 cos of beta 2. VR2 is here, VR2 VW2 minus U minus VR2 cos beta 2 is a minus U. Okay, so VR2 is given as, VR2 is K times VR1, and VR1 we have calculated. So VR2 we know VR2 or beta 2 is equal to beta 1 because blades are symmetrical. That's why beta 2 is equal to beta 1. So replace beta 2, VR2 cos beta 2 replaced by beta 1 minus U. We know VR2, beta 1 and U all we have know right now. So put these values and we will get 82.03 meter per second. This is VW2. Okay, now we have all the velocity components. Okay, first answer is blade angle at the inlet. Blade angle is denoted as beta 1. Beta 1 we have calculated, since in this problem given that beta 1 is equal to beta 1 because blades are symmetrical. That's why inlet angle is also equal to exit angle beta 2. Okay, second question is driving force on the wheel. Driving force on the wheels because wheels are mounted on the shaft. Wheels are rotor. This is rotor. This rotor is rotating. This is shaft axis. Okay, so the force which is responsible for the rotation of the rotor, that is driving force, and the force is F tangential or whirl component. The whirl component so is equal to, tangential force is equal to mass flow rate multiplied by VW1 minus VW2. VW2 and VW2 are in opposite direction. That's why is minus VW2 minus plus, because VW1 in this direction and VW2 in this direction. So you are writing the change in velocity, this minus this. That's why minus or minus plus. Okay, so this tangential force, you write the values in this equation. M is given, VW1, VW2 we have calculated, put the value and get 927.74 Newton. Okay, this is the tangential force required to rotate the wheel or rotate the rotor. This is the driving force. Rotation, the force which is responsible for the rotation of the rotor is whirl component of the moving blade. Whirl component of the actual absolute velocity. This is third part. In third part, axial thrust. FA, axial thrust or axial force. Axial thrust or axial force is, because we know that impulse turbine or even steam turbines are axial flow turbines. We have drawn the velocity component at the inlet and exit both. This is VF1, this is VF2. This is the flow component of the velocity of the absolute velocity. Okay, so the direction of VF1 and VF2 flow component, the direction is same, and inlet exit ka direction is same. That's why the change in M1 VF1 minus VF2. Okay, so VF1 VF2 already calculated, put the value and we will get 92.34 Newton. This is the axial thrust or axial force or flow component. Okay. Third part, fourth part, power developed. Power, we have formula power developed. Power is given by mass flow rate multiplied by VW1 plus VW2 into linear velocity. All we have the data, and after putting the value we will get 278.32 kilowatt. Okay. Last part is diagram efficiency. Diagram or blade efficiency is given as power developed, power divided by energy supplied. Energy is half mv1 square. Okay, so power, we have calculated power is written as VW1 plus VW2 into U divided by half mv1 square is the energy supplied. This is the blade or diagram efficiency, and we have all the values in this equation. So putting the value in this equation, all the velocity components we have, so we get 0.687. Okay, you can write efficiency as 68.7%. So all the parts we have done. Okay, so you see in this problem, or you can say for solving, or you can solve the problem of impulse turbine by calculating all the velocity components. So the major fact is that you have to remember, when even the data is given, you calculate the all velocity components from the given data using the velocity triangles at the inlet and exit as per the requirement. Okay, now we can write each and every force, power, efficiency, and what we have.